Hi, I'm Anita of my Jigganite podcast, and wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a beautiful day. And if you're seeing the show for the very first time and you like the show, please subscribe, like, and share, and hit the notification bell so when an episode comes out, you'll be the first to know. Well, I was just trying to figure out something. I wanted to put Harry's book sort of up here, but I have Megan's hat here, and I don't know if it would work. Let me see. Yes, I think I want to make a bookshelf somewhere here so I could put all the Sussex's books hanging from here, you know? And well, this is not Megan's hat for real. This is just, something that I bought that, this is a staple in her closet. So I'm like, why not get something that I can decorate with, of, something that Megan likes. So I'm thinking back to the book that I could probably put them here, get a hanging shelf and just put them going across here just like that. So that's the reason why things moved a little. I just wanted to show you guys, and I have two books like this. I had gotten one from the Zoom event that Harry had with Dr. Mateo, and I bought this one from Amazon. So I'll put it here still until I could get a right place for it and so on. So yes, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. So Byline Times came out with a new article on Tuesday. They sort of surprised me because, normally they come out with things on Wednesday and Thursday and so on. And they're on their fifth article. So this one didn't say the fifth article on Dan Wootton. It didn't say anything. Just, was talking about Mr. Truby, and quite interesting. And everything that we have mentioned in the squad about Dan Wootton, that's exactly how Mr. Truby describes him. One being a narcissist, the other being a predator. And Mr. Truby just really stated in an interview with Byline Times pretty much what he had laid out on Twitter already. So it was good coming from, a magazine, a really reliable source, and the fact that he was interviewed. He wasn't just sitting in a room, on his keyboard, being a keyboard warrior. He was actually being interviewed, and those were the things, that he had to say about Dan Wootton. And let me just go over them for you. I'm sure you've heard, quite a bit already from the Twitter post that Mr. Truby had posted. I hope I'm saying his name right. But anyways, he said, and it's spelled Truby. Okay, and that was Dan Wootton's boyfriend, a partner for 4 years. And some of the things that Mr. Truby said that makes, that confirms already why we think Dan Wootton is a predator. He said that he was in a vulnerable state when he met Dan Wootton. He and his partner had broken up, and he had believed that this partner that had broken up with him was the love of his life. And here he is, friendly with Dan Wootton. He considered Dan Wootton as a best mate. I guess this is New Zealand talk. So he considered him, his best mate, and it seems like Dan Wootton saw that, based on what Byline is saying, that Dan Wootton saw him as, being vulnerable, and he preyed upon that. So not only did he prey upon that, but he pressured him. He also said, into getting into a relationship with him, and if he didn't get into the relationship, he was going to cut Mr. Truby off. And Mr. Truby indicated that, given that he had lost the love of his life, and here he's going to lose his best mate, he felt pressured into getting into a relationship with Dan. Now, he went on to say that the Dan that he knew, the Dan that was evolving in 2007-8, was a different Dan Wootton that we all know today. He he described him as being fresh-eyed, meaning that he wasn't exposed as much to the publishing world and the tabloid world, and he was more of a nicer person. Now, once he got into the tabloid world and the publishing world, he became more ruthless. And Truby described him as someone that you would not want to cross, because if you cross him, he would be furious at you. And he also described him as a narcissist, always wanting the spotlight, never wanting to share it, always wanting to have the front page story, and that's very much indicative of a narcissist. And he went on to describe Dan as not being the right-wing person that he is politically. He said that Dan was more of a lefty. He was more leaning towards the left. His personal political views were more towards the left, which means that his views were more liberal. Here, Dan Wootton, once he got into the Murdoch enterprise, he became right-leaning. However, he doesn't believe that that is true of Dan Wootton. He believes that Dan Wootton is putting on a show just to make the money that he's earning right now. So those were the things that he said about Dan Wootton. So, what does that tell us? What is the implication here? It tells us that Dan Wootton is a fraud. He's a phony and he's a fraud. He cannot be himself, because, as he will do anything for money. He also indicated that while Dan Wootton was at the Sun, Dan Wootton would, send money to his account from the accounts of the Sun. So literally he would be sending money to Truby's bank account, coming from the Sun, saying that he was paying a source. A source is somebody that have some story, and you pay them to deliver the story. And then once the money had gotten to Truby, Dan would withdraw it. Now, the only thing that I could come up with why he was doing that, it could be one, he was stealing, okay, because that's a form of stealing. It's a form of theft, because you're taking something that you really didn't earn, or it could be it was a way of Dan Wootton covering his tracks, meaning that if he sent it to Truby, nobody would really look at it in any way outside of the Sun. The Sun knew Truby at that time, so money going to Truby, Truby said that the Sun never really questioned it. The Sun, that I'm talking when I say the Sun newspaper, the organization, the publication never really questioned that money because he knew, or they knew, that Dan Wootton and him was connected. But so Dan Wootton would take the money, and the next conclusion that I had is that that money could not have been traced outside, in the sense that he would take it as cash, and quite possibly, according to Byline Times and based on what they have said in the past, he could be using that money to do his catfishing. And Mr. Truby mentioned it's not only he alone. Dan Wootton had, sent money to, bank accounts. It's not his bank account alone. There were others as well, and he would take that money to do whatever he wanted to do. So you could see how in this situation the money couldn't be traced. He couldn't send it directly to those individuals as Byline claimed that he was paying off. He had to send it to somebody that, had a connection to him, and then he would take it and then he would deliver it as cash to whoever it is he was paying. And all of this is, as I said, alleged, because those are serious allegations. Those things that are coming out from Byline Times can land people in jail. So we have to be very careful with our words and how we say things, because those are very, very serious allegations. Yeah, so those are the things that he said. He used Rupert Murdoch's money to pay his lover. Okay, he paid him as a source, but he wasn't a source, and he is not right-leaning as he claims on GBN News. He acts right-leaning. He acts like a conservative. He acts like a Republican. He is not that. He is more for Democrat. He is left-leaning, but he will do anything for money and fame. Okay, so one of the things that I appreciate about Mr. Truby is that he did confirm that he had called Dan Wootton, at some point when Dan Wootton was sort of, coming to somebody or befriending somebody that Truby was close to. And he thought that the reason why Dan was doing that, let this motorcycle, by the way, this is New York. There's all kinds of engines passing by. Some of them, they make those engines to make noise on purpose. The motorcycles, the cars, they all of, you name it. This is New York City. So, yes, so he said that it appears that Dan Wootton was using that individual to get to him. So he really had some words with him and tell him to stay away from, his friends, because he felt like even Dan Wootton's lawyers at some point was following him in terms of his social media and what have you. And, he called him and he cursed him out. And that's when, we heard on GBN News that Dan Wootton said that, his ex-partner had threatened him. Mr. Truby didn't say he threatened him, but he said he spoke to him, with a serious tone, and saying, that, this person threatened his life. Mr. Truby feels hurt that Dan Wootton would say something like that about him. So I guess there's more to come out. The story is very convoluted. I even struggle to to explain it, because it is so much. There's so many layers and so many moving parts. And when all is said and done, I guess we'll be able to put everything together. But in the meantime, Byline Times is, shedding a light on things for the public, because nobody wants to take on that story. It's just, and I guess it makes sense why nobody wants to take on the story, because there, those some of those practices, unfortunately, is something that is indicative of the tabloid media. And if anybody point a finger at Dan Wootton, it would be like pots calling the kettle black. So it's like, who are you to point a finger at Dan Wootton when you are pretty much like him, with the exception of the catfishing. And who knows who's catfishing out there? I wouldn't hold my breath to hear the kinds of things, or to even think, have the audacity to think that this is not going on out there. We probably would be so surprised about who is doing what out there. Look at how Hugh Edwards was caught up in this, you know, disgusting behavior. Schofield, whatever his name, Philip Schofield, was caught up in all of that. We don't know what these people are doing. We see these people. My grandma used to say, see me and know me is something too different, So these people have worlds that they're living in, underworlds, and all kinds of vice that they're involved in. We don't know. So it could quite be that is why they're not pointing the finger at Dan Wootton, because we don't know what skeletons are in their closet, honey. We don't know. So everybody's keeping mum about the situation, and they don't want to open no Pandora's box wherever they are and bring no problems on their side. And mind you, we're dealing with Rupert Murdoch's enterprise, very ruthless enterprise, been around for a long time, knows everybody's inside and out, and nobody wants to ruffle those feathers. Okay, so the saga continues. We're gonna keep Dan Wootton in our mouths. We're not gonna stop. We're just gonna keep talking about him, and I'm happy that he is on the edge. It's right now with him, it's a guessing game, because he doesn't know what is gonna drop on him. So he is wiggling, he is turning, he is nervous. He right now have a spirit of confusion, because he doesn't know what the next bomb is that Byline Times is gonna drop. So anyways, I have said enough. And oh, by the way, Megan's birthday is coming up on the 4th. I am going to drop a surprise. It's going to be very good. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is as yet, but I've been working on it for some time, and I feel like everybody, and here's the hint, everybody has been telling Megan's story, and I think a squatty should be able to tell her story. Guys, take care and bye. Okay, I stood up here the whole time talking to you guys. Okay, take care. And by the way, I'm going to go on the road. I'm going to try to start interviewing people, as I had promised, about how they feel about Meghan, how they feel about the royal family, how Meghan was treated in England, and to ask them if they think it's because of Meghan's skin color, or is it because that she married to a white man? That's the reason why she has been treated the way she has been treated. And, and if we really need a monarchy in this day and age, okay, in this 21st century. Okay, so take care and bye for now. Don't forget, guys, to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Okay, it's very important. We need to get this algorithm. We need to get the algorithm up. If you notice, across the board, a lot of positive channels seeing a drop in the number of views for positive things, you know, being said about Megan. So we have to make sure that these positive things stay out there in the universe, okay? And it's gonna take me and it's gonna take you, okay? Take care. Enjoy yourself wherever you are. Bye.